Hey, actor, welcome to Lydia Nicole's Acting Smarter Now podcast, where I give actors business, craft, and common sense information to level up their game and go to new heights in their career. If you are a parent or know a parent who has a kid who wants to be in show business, then this episode is just for you. I got to interview this amazing woman named Annie Semenova, who is the CEO of bemomager.pro. It is a program that she put together after she was managing her own daughter, and she created this amazing program to help mamagers and papagers navigate their children's career. I mean, she didn't leave anything out. This interview is such fire. I can't wait for you to watch. So let's go to the interview. So tell me, what is a mamager?
A momager is a mom and manager in one person. Is a mom who decided to manage her kids' acting career, sport career, any career. So she combines in herself manager and being a mom.
Why is it important for a mom to become her child's manager?
Oh, there's so many reasons for it. I guess that today we all concerned about after Quiet on Set came out, we all got disturbed, and I feel like when mom has hands on her kid's career, she's with her child at all times. Nothing really bad can happen to a child. That's number one. Second of all, I believe that only mom knows when it's time to push her child a little bit because they're just maybe a little bit lazy today, and when it's really time to get rest because she knows her child the better than anyone. And also, it's just the emotions. You can like really get 50 no's, but when you get one yes with your kid, it's sad. It's just unforgettable emotions. And when you go somewhere on set, you're driving together, you experience all of those emotions together. It's just yours and your child, and no one can share it. No one is there, and it's just something that you have together and you'll take it through all your life, and it's really creates beautiful bond between kid and a mom.
So you said 14 or 15 no's and then you get a yes. What were you referring to in the no's?
Auditions, like industry medium, I think it's 50. You have to pass 50 auditions in order to get one role. Fortunately, with my daughter and my clients, it's more often. My daughter probably is booking like every sixth audition or seventh audition, because just she's very experienced. She's almost 15 now, and she started doing this when she was 6. And it's also easier for my clients because they get the system out of me. They get all the mistakes that I've done before, uh, all the knowledge that I've collected throughout last 9 years. So it's just easier for them to start with a really, really good start.
So you actually have a program that you teach parents how to be a momager, a papager, what they need to know. So take me through some of the things you teach in the course.
Yep. So it's a comprehensive step-by-step system. It contains from 6 modules. Every module has around 4 or 5 lessons. So we start with creating vision. You cannot go to any business or anything in life created twice. First in our head, in our imagination, and then in real life. So we, with moms, we create the perfect vision. Sometimes kids also join what they want their kids' career to look like, what they want to feel, what they want their kids to feel, and then we go right into headshots because sometimes it takes time to create headshots. So we talk about how many looks they have to have, what clothes to wear, what hair to do, what kind of characters are more suitable for their kids. Obviously, the older kids, the more character based their headshots have to be. The younger kids, obviously, you cannot really create so much characters with 3 years old. So we talk about all of those little details, which really, really important because acting headshots is not modeling headshot and it's not just a portrait.
You just gave so much information. I want to I want to dissect it a little bit. So you give them the basics, you give the parent the basics, what they need to know, and then the next step is headshots. So so when you are describing headshots, before they can get to a photographer, they want to understand what their child sells, how their child is being seen in the business.
Absolutely, yeah. And the younger child is, we create more. So basically, it's four headshots, and the younger kid is, it looks more something in the middle, between modeling headshots and acting headshots. We need to have a commercial headshot. We need to have theatrical headshot. If they want to create more characters than just once in theatrical, they obviously open to do it. But when kids are younger, you also want to create some medium shot and full body as well, especially when you apply to agencies. They really want to see your kid, especially today without in-person interviews. They would definitely like to see that, and you can book lots of commercials with those shots. And the older kids get, then we can create like bully, or like nerd, or
More
stoner kids,
character. Yeah,
something like,
more
yeah, more
branding. This is
character.
what I do. This is what
Yeah,
I'm good at. Very
yeah.
good.
And obviously, first headshot session they create based on their views on their kids. I also always say, you can ask your friends, like, how do you see my kid? What role you can see my kid in the movie? Because we don't have the opinion of the industry yet. But when they get a agent, or they start getting first auditions, they can rely on what the industry see in their kids as well, and combine those two visions, or just go with that vision, or just go with their own vision. I always say, try to find some medium, like middle ground. Like, of course you want your kid want to do something specific, but also like try to discover and see how people in the industry see your kid, because this is how you can sell actor easier, right?
Now, with the headshots, do you give them a list of photographers that you know are really good taking shots of young kids or older kids? Because every photographer is different, right?
Absolutely. I have a list of my recommended photographers. They are open and free to go to whoever they want. They can use their own people, but I always warn them that not every photographer knows how to do headshots. And if you want to save some money, I also give them like different, like, this photographer can do your headshots for $300. This photographer can do for $500. So I always give them the choice. I also teach them the way that if they really have a good eye and maybe a good camera, they can create their headshots by themselves if they don't have budget for a photographer. But at the same time, I always recommend, like, if you have budget, better go to photographer, because um, headshots is not really something that you want to save your money on. And I tried at the beginning, and now I sometimes I look at those pictures that we had with my daughter, and I'm like, I think we missed lots of opportunities because of these headshots.
You take them through the headshot process. What's the next?
Training. And I have like general lesson about what kind of classes there are out there, scene study, act, like general acting, improv, voiceover. And then I also recommend them acting studios, which are good, because there are more than 50 acting studios for kids in Los Angeles, but
Uh,
really maybe five of them is really good and really professional and really teach kids what they need to know.
so let me go to the five because I'm nosy. I need to
Okay.
know
Okay.
who are
Okay.
the five studios for kids that you recommend, and what's your criteria to say I like these? You know, like when you go to a restaurant, you have a criteria. You go, I want a place where the food is good. I want a place where the service is really good, and a place where it feels nice. So when
Hmm.
you're saying these are the top five studios that I recommend you take your child to, because they are getting ready to mold your child in acting classes. what
Yeah.
what's your criteria that
Mhm.
you are making that decision based on?
So my opinion was formed throughout the years with my own daughter trying different acting studios, and some of them were good, some of them not. And I do have a expert opinion because I have bachelor in theater. Even though sometimes I coach my daughter, and she's like, "I'm better actress than you. Why are you telling me this?" And I'm like, I have bachelor, and she's like, I'm working more than you. Also, I had few lists of some acting studios recommended by our agencies and agencies that my daughter was before. So really, I don't want to offend anyone if someone will listen to us, someone the owner of some studios. Maybe I missed someone, but the ones that I really like is Lisa Picot's acting studio, Zach Barnett, David Gray, one acting studio in Orange County. I forgot their names. I think it's CCC something. Um, what else? And Cynthia Bain is really good.
Oh,
So those,
I was in class with Cynthia many years ago. I love hearing that. She's
yeah,
awesome.
she's
Yes.
great. She's great. And also, I have a list of recommended acting coaches because sometimes when we get audition and for Disney and Nickelodeon, you cannot really rely on your own expertise. You really want to go to a really good coach. So they also free to go. For example, if they can also learn privately every month. So I give them options. Obviously, if kid is shy, it's good to go out there to the real acting studio on the real stage, maybe do some improv, especially if they want to develop themselves in comedy. So I do give them options. And by the way, with the COVID, all acting studios opened their doors for Zoom, and now you can live in Michigan and go to acting studio in Los Angeles, right? So I think it's amazing opportunity. So I have clients all over America.
I love
Yeah.
it. Okay. So we go from giving them the basics to uh helping them with headshot information, and then you recommend them taking classes, which I am a big believer that you have to train. Even if you're a young kid, you need to train so that you can then build a career, cuz uh some of the things that I've seen over the years in acting, and I've been in it for 40 some years, is that a lot of parents will put their kids in show business. Um, they don't train, they learn on the set, which is not bad, but because they didn't train, as they get older, they get out of that youthful thing, and then they don't have the skill set to continue because now they're competing with actors who have gone to Juilliard. They've trained with the best people. They are so equipped. They can do Shakespeare. They can do all these wonderful characters, and they're coming in from, well, I was on a series for 2 years or 3 years, and it doesn't it doesn't translate to the next thing. So I love that you encourage them to take classes. I love that. Go ahead. Okay, go
I'm all
ahead.
about training. I'm such a theater nerd as well. And when parents ask me for how long we should go to acting studio, I'm like, always. You have to always train. Right now, my daughter was going to acting studio for probably 6 or 7 years, and now she only being coached privately. But it's still very often because pretty much every audition I take a coach for her because the auditions she gets right now is pretty high level. So I don't risk uh, help
Love
her
it.
with them. And also when they're in teenage years, they don't really see you as an authority anymore. So it's just more productive just to delegate this to a coach. um, so yeah, after training, we do so much. I teach them how to film self tapes right away because this is the skill they have to master. I give them some past real auditions, and they film it with their kids. If it's 3 years old, obviously there's just like turn around, smile, and give us different emotions. If it's older child, it's some piece from Disney or from somewhere, and they film it at home and they send it to me, and I look at it and I give them notes. More technical than acting, but acting as well because I have bachelor in theater, but more technical because sometimes it's very interesting. You can say 5 times that you have to film horizontally, or I also give them the list of the like cheap lighting that they can order, and like the cheap equipment from Amazon. And still, like, sometimes it's worth to repeat a lot of times to people until they really really get it. And so we have this lesson where everyone send me the tapes, and I go through them, all of them, and I give notes, and they teach from each other mistakes. um, I also teach them how to break down the scene and how to step by step prepare their kids, because they cannot spend money on every audition and get a coach, because there are some commercials or some short movies that's just not worth to go to the coach. So they're really capable to create the audition with their kids. I teach them what questions to ask. So it's not just reading back and forth, it's really helping kids to create this world around them, especially with self tapes. It's where there is just blue wall and nothing here. They really have to imagine everything. So I teach them what questions to ask kids so they can help them to create that world and objectives and everything else. um, and then I have a list and self tapes and videos of my past clients who booked the jobs, so they can see really the tapes that were successful and can analyze and think, okay, what was good about this tape that it's actually booked the job. So I think that's very very useful. And it's just second module. I also
Wow. Okay.
and also we have a lesson with a therapist and parents coach. She teaches how to um, emph- like empathize kids, how to support them in their wins, and how to be with them when they're lose. How to support them, because what I actually realized, what mistake I've done in the past, when my daughter would be sad about something, not necessarily about I would try to cheer her up. I would say, oh no, it's fine, everything will be good. This is not what our kids need. They actually need us to be there and like understand that, yes, I understand you're sad right now and it's okay,
I need
and
that.
just
I need to learn that with my daughter. I need to learn that because I'll say, get out of that. Let's go. We got things to do. I do that. I do that with my friends. Cut it out. We gotta get going. I need that therapist. Okay, go ahead.
Stop complaining.
Exactly. Shut up. Let's go. I love it. I love it, Annie. Annie, you are teaching me some stuff. Go ahead, girl.
So our third module, we do a dress rehearsal for headshots. Why? Because sometimes photographers call me and complain that parents came not prepared, like not really ready. So I decided to create this extra lesson when they wear everything. They go through every outfit with for through every character, and just with their phones create like mini rehearsal for headshot session. And kids feels more confident and more free than later at the shoot, because they already kind of went through it, and parents also went through it. Because sometimes when you're not really prepared, you come to the shoot and like, oh, I forgot to take this, that. But with this rehearsal, they don't forget anything.
I love this. With the rehearsal of the photo shoot, do
Mhm.
you have them take pictures of their kids while they're doing the rehearsal just to get a test shot to see how the clothes are going to look, how things will look with them?
I do,
I
yes.
love it. Go ahead, girl.
I do, and also sometimes some photographers they have like a long wait list, and you can wait for pictures very long. And because the course is very intense, and we fill out online profiles like on a third week, so they can use those pictures while they're waiting for the real pictures, and already start submitting right away with the pictures they created
Beautiful.
by themselves. So we don't lose any time. And so then after that, we fill online applications, backstage, casting networks, actors access, and there's so many secrets to it as well, like slates to every picture, like skill videos for every skill.
So when they're taking their headshots, do you encourage them to do slates at the headshot at the with the photographer to say, can we do a couple of slates, or have them while they're getting ready for the next setup to have the parent go, let's do a slate? Do you do that with them?
Yeah, so we do this during dress rehearsal, or if they want amazing lighting, they can do it during the shoot. Yes.
I think this is fabulous, and it's great for adults, that adult actors should be doing this as well, getting those slates at the photographer's studio as well. Go ahead. You got
Yep.
me on fire, girl. You are just cooking with gas. All right, what's the next thing?
The next thing, we create those clips and skill videos, and sometimes we can cut out clips from some movies that we've done before, maybe if someone has experience. Then we create to every skill that they put in the profile, we create the skill video for it, around like 12-15 seconds. But sometimes it's really really helpful for casting directors just to see
So
the
what kind of
level.
skills would they shoot? What kind of skill clips would they shoot?
For example, my daughter sings and plays tennis, and I have like 12-15 seconds of her playing tennis. Mostly I want to see only her on the screen, I don't want to see anyone else. When she's singing a cappella or with the music, different styles, she can sing jazz or she can sing pop. So we try to like make as much videos as possible. What else? If they dance, if they swim, if they I don't know, horse riding, anything is really helpful, and the more unique the skill is, the less competition they have. And then I talk about how they can create acting reel if they have previous experience, or they can just maybe book some few or one student movie, maybe even for free. I'm not a big fan of kids working for free, but sometimes just for a footage, I say, well, you can do one or two jobs for free just to get that footage. Or there's also people who help to put together reel, and they range from $100 to $2,000, and really depends on the parent, what how much they want to go in. But there's a guy in Los Angeles who does it for $100, and I think it's really great. So I help them to at least to find a strategy on how they going to create that reel, because not always you can do it in first 6 week during the course, but you have to know that this is your next step to have that reel, even though reels are not very useful today, more like clips. Then next module we talk about legal stuff, and because I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a accountant, I cannot teach people. So I brought experts. I brought accountants. I brought a person who works with contracts for unions. I brought the entertainment lawyer, and they have lessons and they teach them about what to look into, especially on non-union sets when you book something by yourself, like what are red flags in the contracts, how do you have to approach all of that, how you file taxes, how you can save money on taxes, what you can write off or and what you cannot, so parents really understand.
So let me ask, so this is so good. Um Regarding the taxes with a parent and a child,
Yep.
does because now the child is making money. If they're doing it right, the child will be making money. So
Hmm.
they have to do their own taxes, right?
Yes.
The For the child, the parent deducts the photography shoot, the coaching, the classes. Do they deduct that through the child, or do they deduct that through their own taxes?
Well, that's a very interesting question because you can really do both. Why? Because if you claim yourself as a momager and you are self-employed as a momager, this is really can be your expense as well. So you can really play here around and see where would be better for you to deduct that. Again, I'm not an accountant and I cannot
Right.
like be 100% sure that I, but this is what it's in my lesson that I recorded with accountant. So you can, yeah, because if your child didn't make any money this year, you can really deduct it from your own money if you're self-employed, and this way you can pay less taxes, which is great. Then next module, we're talking all about representation, how to get representation, that your agent have to be SAG-AFTRA franchised.
And why is it important for them to be SAG after franchised?
Well, first of all, they cannot work with non-union agent cannot work with SAG actors. So sooner or later, their kid will become actor, and they would need to change the agent anyway. So why bother to go to non-union agent if you can go right away? For example, my daughter with her agent for now for like 6 years, and we love her. We're not planning to change her.
Your daughter has two different agencies. She's got a commercial agent, and then she's got a theatrical agent, right? Is that right?
She's with Osborne commercially. She's synergy with theatrically, and she has manager as well.
Mama. Mama's
No,
manager.
not anymore. I'll explain
Oh,
you why. I was her manager for like first 4 years, and then when I first of all, if I am a manager, I cannot teach other people for money. So I got her manager because I understand that there's some people who are more experienced than me, and they can open another doors for her, and I can teach moms as well how to be their kids managers at least at the very beginning because good managers won't work with beginners. Why? Because they have less clients than agents, right? They have like 15 maximum, I don't know, 40 maybe. And so they want to make money. They cannot work with beginners, otherwise, they just won't make any money. So, but so those are good managers, and we don't need bad managers. So the best manager for their kid would be their mom at the very beginning, and then later when you already see that maybe you gave everything you could, all your knowledge and everything to your kid, and it's time to join, to bring on some other person to the team who can open other doors and can, like take your kid's career on the next level. I think that's the time to get manager. But again, everyone's journey is unique. Sometimes people start work with manager right away, right? Some managers are open to work with kids because with kids it's easier. They always growing and they always in need of new kids. So there is no so much requirements to kids to have like lots of experience and amazing resume. So that's why I think that mom is the best manager for their kids, especially at the very beginning. And I think that's what happened to Miley Cyrus, Scarlett Johansson, Katrin Hagel. All of them, they had their parents as their managers at the very beginning, and then they obviously moved to some bigger names.
so once you help them um, figure out where they're going, they got their pictures. They now are submitting for agents who are SAG-AFTRA franchised. What's the next step?
Well, with the agents, they can do it right away because with sometimes agents are really open to work with kids with no experience if they really like them, or they can go a longer way. They can submit themselves at the very beginning, get those first gigs, that first experience, and then after some time, maybe 3 or 4 months, they can apply to the agents. I really give them freedom here. because some kids, they really need get that experience, and some kids come already teenagers, and there's more requirements to teenagers. So with teenagers, I say you better go and get more experience and maybe real, so you have more material to apply to agencies.
When they're putting their teens for submissions, you're saying they should take acting classes. What is it that they should do before they go to seek an agent?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I give them acting studios in the second module right away, because I want them to get that training like and start right away. And kids, they're fast to learn. To be honest, sometimes few months is enough for them to understand. Oh, okay, I got it. I know what it means.
They are taking classes, they are submitting for agents, and what's the next module?
In the module, I didn't finish, but agents, we learn how to write resume. There are lots of details to it. We learn how to write cover letters, so it's very specific and short. No one likes to read long emails, but at the same to the point, so agents can get all the information they want. Then I teach them where to find agents, how to find their emails, and how to send their submissions with one button to everyone, but at the same time, not mass mailing, how to make those letters more personal and with a name, and do not submit to few agents in one agency. So we talk all about those things because agents don't like being mass mailed.
If it's a big agency and there's a lot of agents there, you don't want to send it to everybody.
I don't recommend to do that.
How would the momager or the papager know which agent to submit to?
That's a great question. So what I teach them is that they can really go to IMDb. First of all, if it's a big agency, they have youth agents separately from adult agents. There can be few of them as well, and they can go through the clients and they can see if they're similar kids, similar age. Because if they have like kids who look the same but they're different age, they're not really in competition. But if they have kids similar appearance but same age, that can be a problem. Sometimes it's really not, but well, they can submit to audition and casting director can choose only one. Sometimes maybe he will invite two of them, but chances are smaller. Then I really recommend parents, if you have two agents and if you don't know who to choose, just choose the one maybe who doesn't have the similar type as your kid. So that's how they can look and choose what other things that I they can look at. Well, sometimes there are some reputation about some agents as well. They can also rely on that. Then when they go to the interview, always I created this like spreadsheet where they can like give points to the agents, like if they were on time, if they were replying, if they were like really interested in kid, and not sometimes you come to the interview and they talk about themselves, right, but you really want them to be interested in your kid. So I just teach them um, to really look at those small things. Obviously you will never know how it will be in future, but at least some red flags you can always see at the very beginning. um, and I teach them what questions to ask, how to answer the questions that agencies will ask, and then they go to every interview, and then they like process everything, and then they choose the one which they think would be the best for their kid. And intuition actually plays also a big part in this.
I love that. Okay. So, um, we won't cover all the modules because there's so much to ask you. So towards the end of it, because that's a very, just what you have shared is so chock full and is so helpful to the parent of a child who wants to be in show business, or the parent thinks the child could be in show business. That's a lot of wonderful information that you give. So what is the end of 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 what your program does? What, when they get all that stuff together, what's the end game? What are they going to do at the end of it?
Well, they have a strategy that when I'm not with them anymore, they can open this checklist and then, oh, okay, what I can do every day when I wake up, what today I can do for my child's acting career, what I can do once a week, what I can do once a month, how can I prepare my child to the shoot, how do I work with social media, how do I make it look attractive to the casting directors as well. So there's a strategy that they can follow after they finish the course. But also, we have a community of everyone who finished my course. We have this chat where parents share their achievements. They support each other. If there's some scam going on, they share it right away. So, kind of protecting everyone. Maybe there's some audition opportunities, open calls, stuff like that. And whenever I invite new expert and create new lesson in my course, because I have a lesson with Howard Melzer, casting director, I have a lesson with two Mamagers, one of the mom of Milana Weintraub, the AT&T girl. Another mom is a mom of the girl from Stranger Things, Grace Van Dyne. So they also speak at my course. So I also share in that community, and so they always have support if they need, and they love this chat. They say that it's the best chat out of all other chats. There's also very interesting because my course became a opportunity for realization for some of the moms. Some of them became headshot photographers. Some of them became scouts for modeling agencies. Some of them started their acting careers and play with their kids in commercials, and few moms even started working in movies. So there's just so much to it with the knowledge that I'm giving them, and it makes me very happy when I see that.
That's beautiful. I want to talk about you because this course sounds so fantastic. I mean, it just sounds like it's fantastic. If I didn't know anything about the business, I would want this course. I would want to be able to get all, because you really give details. I am so impressed. I saw your website. I thought it was so well done. But I'm just so impressed at how you are sharing the information. You're not just it's not just glossing it over, but you're really giving step by step account of what the parent needs to do for their children. So you spoke about scams. What are some scams just in general? Because I think some scammers uh or scam things don't change. They're the same. You'll get an agent who is not legit, or a manager who is not legit, who asks for money up front. So what are some of the scams that you've encountered during your 10 years of being in Los Angeles?
The scam that I see the most is that they say, oh, you booked the job and we want to pay you up front, and they send you the check, and somehow then they I think I don't even know what happened after, but I know that I think they cancel, like, so you take the money, and then I think you have to send them this money back or something, and then they cancel the check. So basically they take that money out of your account. So that, I think that's the most common. Also, there is a, like, it's not really a scam, but I don't recommend parents to take part in this. It's like fashion show. Oh, you passed the fashion show, you can come, but your parents have to buy tickets to it, which not really scam, but
It is a
what do you,
scam. No,
yeah,
that's
what are
a
you paying
scam.
for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're charging you. It's that's how they make their money. every
yeah,
kid
yeah.
gets
So
every kid gets included in the fashion show. There is no
yeah,
there is no separation. If you're going to pay, you're in it. So
yes,
and if
yeah,
if you're from another city or even another country and you come here to help your child be in the business, they're taking advantage of you. So yes, that is a
Yeah.
scam.
Y-
That's a
yeah.
scam, Annie. That's a scam.
Okay. And there's also few companies which I'm not really agree with their business model. So they invite kids to perform on the stage in front of like 300 managers and agents, and some of them being booked after. But what I think they create this competition, and obviously not a big percentage of the kids being represented after this, because they just not, some of them just not ready, and you cannot really see what they can do out of one performance. And so I think that kids are being very upset after that, and sometimes parents think that the reason why they weren't represented in a kid. And I saw one live of one girl. She worked at that kind of company, and she said it's heartbreaking to see those kids. And sometimes parents get mad at kids. Oh, you performed badly, and that's why you're not represented. Which is like this business module is not working. Like um, it's not ecological for kids. And one of those companies reached out to me, and they wanted me to like bring them leads, bring them clients. And they're like, oh, you can bring our leads and we can like recommend you. But I say, I have different values. Actually, guys, this what you do is actually something that I'm against, because I just parents go through your program and they pay a lot of money. They end up paying around $7,000. And
Oh my
after
goodness.
that program, parents didn't know anything. What I give parents, I give them knowledge. And if even if they won't use this knowledge right away in here, this knowledge will stay with them forever, and they can use it later. And yeah, it's just something that I'm against. And I said no to this company, and I know that there is like 3 or 4 companies of like that. It's like a big congression and kids performing, and it looks like so it looks cool, but and I don't think it really do a good job in in kids souls. So I don't
Mm.
recommend to go to those companies.
So let's talk
Yeah.
about you. You are originally from Ukraine and you studied theater and you got your bachelor in Kiev.
Yes, correct.
What made you decide I'm gonna, and this was before the war, so there was no war, but what made you decide I'm gonna go to Los Angeles with my daughter?
I was happily married. I didn't plan to move to America. Maybe somewhere deep inside I did, but I didn't. And I went to study to Lee Strasberg for a month to intense course. And when I came here to Los Angeles, I just fell in love with the city, with people. Everyone's smiling, everyone's happy. I even loved homeless people, because all of them, they have characters. Like our homeless people in Ukraine don't have characters. And so I was just so in love, and every day I felt like piece of my heart, like takes apart and stays here. And I came back to Ukraine, and the revolution actually started in 2014, and it stopped being safe there. And my relationship with my ex-husband got worse, and then it was dangerous for us to be there for a while, because he was working at TV, and there were some incidents. And he said, you have to go somewhere. And I said, I'll go to, he's like, go to Turkey. I'm like, nope. He's like, go there. I'm like, no, the only place I'll go to America. He's like, okay. And so I came here for 3 months and fell in love with the city even more, already with my daughter for 3 months. And then I came back and we divorced, and I got back with my daughter in the end of 2014.
So when you came here to study with Strasberg,
Hmm.
did you come by yourself or did you bring your daughter with you?
For the first time when I came just for 1 month, I came by myself. And I went to the only audition I booked from backstage, and I booked it. And it was a huge production in downtown, like flying helicopters, superheroes. It was a teaser for video game with celebrity director Antonio Ferrante. He's a director of Sharknado. So I was like, wow, Hollywood's so easy. I just went to the one audition and I booked it. uh, I didn't know that when I already moved, it was harder to book auditions. I think because the energy changed. When you just tourist and you came here and you're having fun, you just have this amazing energy. And then when you move here alone with a kid, don't have a job, nothing, you just come to audition, and I think you have this, sign here, help. And no one wants that energy.
So you came with your daughter, not really knowing much. How did you start to get connected to people and organizations? Um, because obviously you figured it out and you've done a beautiful job of it. So what were the first things you did the first year you were here with your child? Because that's scary. It's scary coming to another city as a single parent with your child, let alone a country with a child.
When we came, it was really hard even uh, to rent an apartment without credit scoring, something like that. And my first job that I went was I was working as a potty character in American company. I was driving 50 miles, 30 miles somewhere far away from Los Angeles, working as Elsa or Anna or Belle at the kids' parties. And then I worked in Russian speaking company. So I worked in two companies, and then I started teaching singing in one kids acting studio, and also I started teaching singing in one church, Russian church. And then I went to acting studio, and I think I've met some actors there. I started asking questions, but no one really gives you good information or structured information. Here and there, you get some advice, but you cannot really get like really nice structured information about how everything works. So I think I took some courses. Then my friend introduced me to Kevin E. West. He's a amazing actor, and he did something similar to me, but I guess 10 or 15 years ago with adult actors. So kind of became my mentor. So he gave me a lot of useful information in this field. And now he says, oh, I'm so proud of you. You implemented everything that I was teaching you. Um, yeah, and I think piece by piece, I just collected all that knowledge. I also got certification with IPAC coaching school, one of the best coaching schools. I took few courses in Harvard for
Where is
business.
that? IPAC, what is that?
It's a coaching school for life coaches.
Okay.
You study there for a year, and then you get certification, so you can coach people. So I got that as well. I took few Harvard courses for business. I've done lots of like self growth, leadership programs as well. So I'm constantly like working on myself. And my first business a year after, I've met my ex business partner. He's a dancer, very famous dancer in Ukraine. And we launched our first acting studio. The church actually helped us. They didn't charge us rent for a few months. And then I say, we have to open another in Hollywood. He's like, but we don't have money. I say, we just rent a dance studio. We invite people. They sign, they pay money, and we pay for the rent. He's like, okay, let's do it. And we opened our second studio. And then the same way we opened third studio in Sherman Oaks. So we had three acting studios, and we produced Broadway musicals with kids. At some point, we had 54 kids on stage, and to be honest, in 4.5 years, I just burned out. But by that time, I already started coaching moms like 101, because they just started seeing my daughter's progress, and they came to me like, oh, how you did it? I want the same for my child. Can you help me? So I started helping moms this way. And then when COVID started, I moved everything online and started teaching moms all over America. So actually, COVID in a way helped me to expand my business. And then I gave my studios back to my business partners. He still has it. He has only one, but he still does Broadway musicals with kids. And I started doing this full time.
Once you moved here, how long before you started putting your daughter up for auditions or getting, what made you go, I think my daughter can do this? It's one thing for you
Well,
to be an actor, but it's another thing to say, I'm going to have my kid act too.
well, she was always artistic, and in Ukraine, I was working in theater, and she was playing in one. We have kind of similar to Fiddler on the Roof in Ukraine, but it's a play. So she played the younger sister there. She even had lines when she was 3 years old. So I knew that she has it in her. And I would do it faster, but we didn't get our documents for a while at the beginning. But as soon as we got our documents, I applied for agencies, and she got into top agency, Paloma Model and Talent. So she started with them, even though she still had accent at that time. But they really liked her, and they took her in. And with them, she booked lots of um, commercials, and then we got invited in CASD. So that's how it all started. Yeah.
Tell me about the church that you connected with, because that church sounds like it helped you a lot.
Yes, absolutely. The faith, like, it plays a big part in my life. But like I'm Christian Orthodox, and Christian Orthodox has a lot of um, guilt based thing in. And at some point in Ukraine, I was just so tired of feeling guilty about everything that I thought, okay, I'll go to America. America is a free country, and I won't feel guilty there at all. And I came here, I started doing Kundalini yoga, and then I got a call from the church, and they're like, you need to come and teach our kids singing. I'm like, no. They're like, no, 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 please come. I'm like, no, I'm not coming, I'm doing Kundalini. And they're like, please come, maybe you like it here. I came to Silver Lake, there's a church there, and what I've learned that Rachmaninoff used to go to that church. And I'm a big fan of Rachmaninoff. I used to play piano, and I thought, well, if Rachmaninoff came here, am I better than him? No. So I agreed to teach kids there. And the priest helped me to open my first acting studio. And then in 2 years, he asked me to create a kids choir. And my first education is choir conductor. And he's like, you should create a kids choir for us. And I knew it's a big commitment. I would need to be Saturday and Sunday in the church. And I say, okay, let me please like think about it. And I was thinking for a month, but then I realized it's my calling and I have to do it. So I did it, and I created a choir which sang on liturgy, and they still singing. And I did it for a year and a half, and then I said, no, okay, I have to go and like build my business, because it's just I just need to make money. And they let me go, but the choir still actually works and singing on liturgy.
And are you still connected to the church? Is that your home church?
Yes, not so much as it was before. I'm not going there every week, but for some big celebrations, sometimes I sing there in choir as well, because I sing in church choir since I'm 17. Yeah, yeah, I'm still connected. That's my favorite church. And I also go to different churches. I actually love different churches. I go to Mosaic sometimes. It's more like New Christian Church, but
Hmm.
I just think that all religions are pretty much the same, talking about the same things.
So let's talk about your faith, because it
Yeah.
does take faith to get up and go and go to, it's what Abraham did. God said go to a foreign land, and he didn't ask, he just did what God told him to do. So um how do you wrap your faith around everything you do?
Well, first of all, it's not just clear. I know it that I'm being led. I feel the presence of God in every step that I make, and it allows me to do those leaps of faith when you don't know if it's going to work or not, and you just still do it because you know that you're supported. I don't know, it's evolves every year. I think it evolves, and I'm becoming a better person. I have more love today in my heart than I used to. And I know for sure that when I retire, I will go to the church and sing in a choir. I'm actually looking forward to it.
How do you connect with God daily? What is there? Do you start the morning off in prayer? Do you end the morning off in prayer? How do you how do you anchor yourself in your faith and in your God?
Most of the time, I do meditations right now, but I do pray also sometimes. And what's interesting, but that when the war started, I tried to meditate and it wasn't really helpful. Actually, only prayers were helping at that time, and I discovered the power of prayer.
I can talk about God all day because I love God. And I'm a Christian. And as a single mom, I know for myself, being a single mom, feeling shame because I was a single mom. I had a child out of wedlock. What what helped me, what saved me, what blessed me was being connected in a church. That that because I came from another state. I came from New York to pursue acting, and having a church home, having a pastor and people around that I could tap into, because when you're an actor, you are going on auditions, you're doing this, and you have a small kid. Who do you leave your child with? How do you have to figure out how you are going to maneuver. So I know that it wasn't easy for you being in a different country. The language is different. You have an accent. You are, I mean, you're coming, you are the underdog. You can't hide. You can't, people know you're not from here. And you have a kid. And your kid has an accent. So I know that God has his hand on you. Um, but if there's somebody out there that is thinking about making a move like how you did, how would you uh, encourage them?
I always say that if I knew that it will be so hard, I would think about it, but would still do. um, because just even the feeling safety that I have in this country, to be honest, I'm very, very grateful for it. Because you do not, I never felt this safe in Ukraine, even before the war. So whenever people from Ukraine reach out to me and they ask, should we do it or not, I always say yes. And I think if it's meant to be for them, they will do it. If it's not, it's really hard for the people who didn't plan to immigrate right now. I see they come to America, they try and they don't like it and they go back in the war zone. So I really believe that I can be helpful as much as I can, and I also became a sponsor for one family for a kid recently. Uh, but this is really what the decision that they have to make for themselves.
Let's go back to your business for a second. What are some of the misconceptions that parents have about the acting industry, and how do you address it for them?
Lots of fears, lots of misconceptions. Even at my webinar, I talk about those. For example, that auditions are the long lines. This information is not up to date anymore, especially with self tapes. I love self tapes. I know lots of actors do not like that. They like going into the room, connect to the real people. But with the self tape, you can have two or three auditions a day, which is amazing.
How do you help them with
Oh,
misconceptions that they may have about the industry, and what to do? Because
yeah.
sometimes it's misinformation and it's scary.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about quiet on set. Lots of parents, and I have Russian speaking clients and I have American speaking clients. And interesting, Russians don't really, not really afraid of the industry. Americans more afraid, especially after this movie. But what I'm trying to explain them that the things that was happening in that movie, first of all, they happened 20 years ago. Today it's different. There are so much more laws applied to it. It's a studio teacher on set, that guardian have to be at all times with their kid, because what I saw in that series, that some parents would just drop their kids on set and just come in the evening and meet them, or even let them to go with some people from industry outside of the set. So that's something that you really don't need to do. You know, also people are just more aware about things like that, and more. There's also child performer service permit as well, another law that applied to there, so they run background check on people who work with kids on set. So there's so much things that actually in place today. So it's regarding those fears. So I teach parents just to be with your kid all the time. If you feel that something's off, like us as moms, we feel it with like hair on our back, you know, just take a kid and go. Like nothing, not any money, not any opportunities do not cost you feeling not safe. What other misconceptions? Maybe that it takes 24/7 to do that with your kid. I always say if it takes 24/7, then I can congratulate. Probably your kid became a star. But to get there, it's such a long way. My daughter is in industry for 9 years, and she still goes to public school because yeah, she goes, like she has like one or two filming during semester, but it's not that much. She can still go to public school. It's not that I'm doing this, you know, every day and for 24/7. She has maybe one or two auditions a week, and it's really doable, to be honest. I think that benefits that she gets from it, and the skills and skill set and everything that she will take in her adult life, it's just worth it so much.
As an actress, as a mother, as a single mother, as a business owner, how do you, first of all, manage your time, and how do you continue? Are you continuing your acting, and
Hmm.
how do you juggle all of that? Because it's 24 hours in a day. How do we make it all happen?
Well, I'm prioritizing, and my business is number one now, because I have a mission, I have bills to pay. So my business is number one. My daughter's acting career is number two, but it's still always a priority. I can always move things. If she gets an audition, obviously would do it. And my acting career is number three, which I'm not really happy about, but it is what it is right now. I'm hopeful it will be changed soon, or not soon, maybe when she goes to college, but it is what it is right now. But it's at the same time I have non-negotiables, which is I have like therapy once a week when I get to talk and someone gets to listen. I go to massage once a week because this is something that I really know, and that's how I get my energy back. uh, and those are really really things that fills me up with energy. I meditate, I pray every day.
And how do you fill your creative well? There's a book called The Artist's Way. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with it? The Artist's Way?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Julia Cameron talks about filling your creative well weekly. How do you
Yeah.
fill your creative well? Because you're still creative. You're doing all these other things, but you still at heart are a creative person.
Absolutely. And I've done morning pages for a very long time. Not right now, but definitely looking forward to go back and do it again. I make sure that I can go this month. I can go to dance class and I dance twice a week. Or maybe next month I go to acting studio that I go to. So I try to mix because I don't have time for everything, but I try to mix singing, dancing, and acting. And I really really looking forward, and I hope I will find time. I want to work with one acting coach weekly, privately, because I want to start working on my own movie. And I think that's having at least 1 hour a week working on my character would be very helpful for me to like take the role, like how you say that, take the ball rolling. Yeah.
And where would you like to be in 5 years from now?
5 years. In 5 years, I want to have a beautiful house, beautiful family. By that time, I have this idea on creating a reality show with Mamagers because I really want to show the industry not from the point of view that it's like competitive and dirty, and I want to show other part of industry which is beautiful and gives kids opportunities, and those moms who's like go for it and dedicate so much time and energy to develop their kids talents. I want to do that. I want to make my own movie. I can talk about this another hour, maybe some other time. And yeah, that's where I think then I will be moving into producing and acting more when my daughter goes to college. Yeah.
What is it that you love about this business? Because I feel the love. I feel the love. I want to know, what is it that you love about this business?
I think it's magic. I think it's so wonderful when kids come to me with their parents and they don't know anything. They only have their dreams, and they start doing works. They start going on set. I see how kids evolving, how they come and they're so shy, and then after I don't know 6 months they feel themselves that they are professional actors. They make money. They so proud of themselves. And also it's just the path that I went through, being a little girl just having these dreams in Odessa, somewhere in Ukraine, growing up in a very poor family, and to get where I am today. I just want to share this with people and say that everything is possible. You can achieve whatever you want. And yeah, I just helping people to achieve their dreams.
Hey, actor, thank you so much for watching. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and share with your actor friends. And if you have ever been into voice acting, you are in for a treat. This next interview I did with Andrea Romano, the brilliant voice director. So let's watch this video together.